Hi, I'm Galina, and this gorgeous woman here is Vasavi Kumar. If you're an immigrant or minority woman, I think you can really relate to her. From Vasavi's website, you can see how she uses her ethnicity to her advantage. I'm sure you can do the same thing. Enjoy the interview, and I will see you in the comment below. Well, let's jump to the questions then. So, you were born in the US, but your parents immigrated from India, right? So, how did they take this transition and how did it affect you?
I think it was hard on them because, India is obviously a very different culture than the United States. And, for my mom, she came here and she kind of had a built in job already because she's a doctor. My father, on the other hand, he had to really start from the ground up. It was hard for them, though, because, they were learning how to be themselves in a place where um, maybe they were expected to be like the norm, like the status quo. I think it was hard for them, and especially when they had my sister and I, it was scary as heck for them because, you know, America was like a scary place with everything being so open and anything goes, and it was hard for them because they were raising two daughters, so it was hard for them, definitely.
Okay, so and how did you feel growing up, were you in a minority?
It wasn't easy at all. I think I've said this to you before, Galina,
Yeah.
that um I was the odd one out. I didn't look like anybody else, and we were a different religion. My name was different. Um, Culturally, things were different at home. How I was raised, it was really hard. I did not grow up with a lot of friends at all. I had a few friends, I guess, but I remember in school the teacher would always ask the class, does everybody have somebody to play with?
Mm-hmm.
And basically saying, does Vasavi have somebody to play with? But it was hard because um, I wanted to be like everybody else, but I also grew up in a very traditional Indian home that was very different from the way my classmates were raised. It was really hard growing up. It was. I remember feeling like I never quite belonged anywhere. Like I didn't have a place in this world or
Mm.
in school, you know?
So how did you work it out, and how did you stay true to who you are as an Indian and also an American?
It's taken a while um, for me to really get who I am because who I am is not Indian. Who I am is not American. Who I am is not even Vasavi. I am a child of the universe. I am a child of God, and there is no difference between you and me, regardless of where you're from, how you were raised. So it's taken me a really long time to see that yes, I look this way, yes, I sound this way, and my circumstances are different than yours, but we're all we all have our stuff, but at the core we're all the same. And I think that's really what's gotten me to this place is realizing that at the core of who we are all the same. And we all want the same thing. At the core of who we are, we all want to be loved, appreciated, and we all want to have a purpose. We all want to help. We all want to give back, And
Hmm.
so once I found that piece, it wasn't so hard for me to be in a room where I might be the only Indian person, or person of color. But like I said, it's taken me a while to get here.
Okay, and you also went to India um, some time ago, right? Or I think you mentioned that you go to India every year. Why do you do that?
Yeah, I've been going to India every year since I was 2 years old. I lived in India for about a year in my 20s so I could work with survivors of sex trafficking. And I also did some internship work with the United Nations. And I absolutely love India. For me, it's home for me, I think what I love about India the most is while on the outside there seems like there's nothing because half our population's living on the street. We have a lot of poverty. We have a lot of pollution. It's overpopulated. Everybody just seems to have a smile on their face. Um, there's a wholeness even in spite of the surface brokenness. It seems broken on the outside, but there's such a wholeness.
Do you think it's because of the religion
I,
or
I think that we are a very devout nation. Um, Regardless of the religion, whether you're Muslim or Christian or Hindu, or we have even a few Jewish people, or Sikh or Jain. We're a very devout country where we respect and honor the divine, God, nature, animals. Um, and I think that there is struggle, right? Even for the richest person in India, it's still work to get from point A to point B because you still got to get into the real world and navigate through all that stuff, the population, the elephants, the thing. And so there's a simplicity that and this is not everybody, by the way, because I have met some people in India that are not, you know, the nicest and happiest. But I think it has to do with the religion. I think it has to do with the environment. I think the physical environment plays a lot to do with it. I think it's a cultural thing
Mm-hmm.
also. And I think it really is a mindset of an Indian. And by the way, this is not across the board because I know plenty of Indians who do not have that kind of mindset that I'm talking about here.
Okay. So, growing up, did your family feel like you were distancing yourself from them and from your culture?
I think a lot of the actions that I did, I think a lot of the behaviors that I did were not in line with the typical Indian woman. And it was scary for them, but it wasn't a matter of distancing myself from my Indian culture. It was distancing myself from myself. It just so happened that I was Indian, and our culture is such that where women are a certain way. And I was just trying to find out who I was. Am I Indian? Am I American? Am I Vasavi? I mean, am I a rebel? Am I a saint? What am I? And in this search for myself, I experimented. I took many different paths to get to where I was. And I don't think there's any such thing as the right path. Everybody's path is their own path. I think it shocked them, because of the culture that we're raised in. And it wasn't very Indian like. But I don't think any parent, regardless of what their skin color is, would have wanted their child to take the path that I took, which is through drugs and alcohol and sex and what have you. So it was hard for them. Absolutely, it was hard for them. It was hard for me too, to try to find myself in all these places that were not fulfilling me. I wasn't finding what I was looking for because I was constantly searching out there as opposed to turning inwards to
Mm.
find what I was looking for. If
So
that makes sense.
how did you find your identity?
A lot of exploration, a lot of curiosity. I never stop growing. I am always on the hunt for what is the truest expression of myself. What would it look like for me to be free in this moment? Um, what makes me feel alive? What is in alignment with my message, um, with my values? So those are the questions that I've really asked myself to um, figure that out.
Okay, and do you have some sort of a ritual that you do every day that help you stay aligned with who you are, or some sort of routine?
I don't. I'll be really honest. I don't because for me, my freedom does not come in ritual. Freedom for me looks very different than a freedom for another person. So my day does not look like 6 a.m. I get up and then I do this and then I do that. There is no freedom in that for me. For me, every day looks different. I have my list of things that I got to get done. I always like to have fun. So I always like to inject some sort of fun, whether it's socializing, whether it's getting outside, going for a run. Every day is different for me. I do not have a routine. Routine actually makes me want to cringe. I get my stuff done. I do what I got to do. I socialize. I talk to my friends. I go out. I hang out. I spend time with my dog, with my husband, and I just make sure that I have fun. That for me is freedom.
Nice. And what do you do now?
What am I doing in my business?
Yes. What kind of business are you running?
So in my business right now, I am running women's retreats all over. So we just sold out for our one in Malibu. We have one in September. I'm doing one in February in New Mexico. These are women's, yoga, meditation. I always bring in some guest teachers, 3 days, luxury. The one that I'm having in February is at a hot mineral springs resort and spa. Um, and just really for women who want to get away. I have a lot of self-study programs that I'm launching. One is called The Art of Taking Confident Action. I'm all about taking action and keeping it real. And, I don't think the distance between your idea and your implementation has to be very far. So I'm all about the hustle. Get your hustle on, do what you got to do. So I'm creating a lot of programs at multiple price points that people can really use and invest in themselves so that they can start moving forward in their life. I'm hosting my first conference in New York in May, so I'm doing that. I have a 8-week mindset training program that I'm rebranding and relaunching at the end of the year. So everything that I am doing right now involves teaching what I know through the form of digital media and having it be affordable for people. For me, freedom is making it easy for people. I don't think you have to break the bank. I have programs anywhere between $30, 197, 997, 1800, 3000. So I have a whole platter of ways that you can work with me um, to make it easy for people to work on themselves, and so I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of how I can still provide really great quality content at prices that anybody can work with.
That's awesome. And who do you naturally attract? Are the women Indian, or because if you go to Vasavi's website, which is vasavikumar.com, and I will post the link, and it has so much Indian flavor, and this dots, beautiful dots. I love it. So, do you attract Indian women or Western women because it's just so interesting and different, or both?
I attract women. I attract women who want to be real with themselves, who want to take action. I really don't attract a lot of Indian women. Surprisingly, I have a few Indian women on my list, on my database. I do attract a lot of women of color, though. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it doesn't matter what color you are, but I attract a lot of.
Ethnic.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, I don't target specifically women of color. I attract anybody who wants to take action in their life and wants to experience freedom in that way. You know,
Yeah. So, you also have a show, right?
I do free weekly keeping it real videos on my website at vasavikumar.com. And I'm also on our local morning show here on
Wow.
Kansas City Live. So I'm on TV twice a month. I've been on for almost a year.
That's in. And what do you talk about on TV?
Everything. Like we talk about all sorts of topics. Last week we talked about how not to be boring. 2 weeks ago we talked about, I think it was, we talk about goal setting. We talk about relationships. We talk about how to do meditation for busy people. We talk about everything. I try to keep it good for the viewers. Because our viewers are either stay-at-home moms or kind of retired, older, elderly people. So in a few weeks I'll be talking about how to make money on the side, whether you're retired or you're a stay-at-home mom, how you can still use your passion and your gift to make money on the side.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
My program, Freedom Forward, The Art of Taking Confident Action, is actually coming out at the end of July. So it'll be starting in August. And so you'll just, if you go to my website at vasavikumar.com, you click on work with me, you can actually get on the waiting list. So the minute we open our doors, you'll be the first ones to know.
Yay! Cool. Thank you so much, Vasavi. Well, maybe I don't know if it's appropriate, but maybe could you give some tips on how to handle yourself when you are in a minority?
I think the first thing that's really important is to get that while you look different and you may sound different and you believe different things, understand that everybody's going through the same thing. Whether you're in the majority or not, if you're a white skinned male or female, everybody is going through that same, not everybody, but a lot of people are going through this. Who am I? Am I different? I don't belong. It seems it's more heightened when you're a minority because we live in a world that's predominantly not looks like us, but I think it's important to realize that while you may feel different, that everybody else is feeling the same way, that a lot of people don't feel like they belong. Um,
That's a good point.
and so knowing that will actually have you come at life with more compassion and more understanding that that person that you're looking at, even though they're not a minority, that they're still going through the same stuff as you. They may not have the same experiences as you. They may not have had the same experience as you, but They're still going through that, and so learn to connect with people, not from skin color to skin color, or mind to mind, but really like heart to heart, and really understand, who are you? What do you love to do? Because all that stuff breaks down all sorts of religious barriers, skin color barriers, socioeconomic barriers. You'll start to see that there's no curtain. You know what I mean? There is no separation between you and I. Um, my friends, my closest friends are not Indian, so I
Yeah.
don't I don't seek my friends based on what they look like. I seek friends, and I'm attracted to people who are driven, who are hungry, who are passionate. That's what connects me to other people.
Yeah.
So you could be an Indian woman, and we don't jive. I'm not going to be friends with you just because you look like me. That's stupid. You know what I mean? And I also think as a minority, be proud of where you've come from, but know that that's not all who you are. That your culture, your religion is not all who you are. It doesn't have to define who you are. You can hold on to certain beliefs and values if they serve you, but a lot of times we're raised in certain cultures where we think that this is the truth. I need to be this way because this is what my religion prescribes. You don't know, you don't. You can do whatever the hell you want. Whatever makes you feel good, do that.
Vasavi, thank you so much for sharing everything. That was the interview with Vasavi Kumar. Don't forget to check out her free videos on keeping it real. If you liked this video, please share it with your friends. I'm Galina. Thank you for watching.